Yo, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your host, Mosballin, and today we're going to be talking about some pretty surprising things. Not just me being right here dressed the way I am. I realized yesterday some of you guys did like and enjoy what we were doing, the idea, and I thought since I'm trying to bring you guys here to my house and talk to you guys, why not get comfortable and show you guys just what I be doing? Like, I just be sitting here watching some basketball, right? Just thinking, just talking, just discussing it. So you guys are welcome. Today we're going to be talking about something very, very simple. So this all started earlier today. I was on Twitch streaming some 2K. Jonathan brought up something crazy. He said that in 2017, if anyone in the world had told him that the Warriors would someday, not just someday, but in 2 years, they would be the worst team in the West, he wouldn't believe him. And honestly, that is so true. That is one of the biggest surprises we've had so far. This team is beyond struggling. We know why, obviously. It's obviously very clear. One, they lost Clay. Two, then they lost Steph. Now they lost D'Lo. But there's just like so many factors, and just the fact that their roster that was once their roster is no longer their roster is literally insane. YBC brought it up on Twitter how he's surprised about Draymond's numbers, and honestly, Draymond is showing us that one, he was always that guy that we always talked about. Would he be good and successful on other teams? And we see it now that he only thrived because he had those guys around him. Now, Jonathan also brought up the fact that the Miami Heat are 9-3, which is really, really surprising in its own right. Panda said it as well on Twitter. He said that no one thought the Heat would be good, and guess what? They're a great team. They've been looking really, really good. Bam has been developing. Jimmy Butler is one of the leaders in steals. I think he actually is the league leader in steals right now. And they honestly have an identity, which is just that tough grit. They've been kind of pushing with Jimmy Butler. I haven't really watched any Miami Heat games, I'm not going to lie to you, but you could tell from just their production and what they've been accomplishing, you can tell that they play hard. And that's something Coach Spo's been pushing for, and that's something they've all been pushing for. Now, before we go ahead and talk about this man, Luka, right, what we're going to actually talk about is the Celtics, right? So the Celtics lost Kyrie, or Kyrie left the Celtics. They got Kemba. And this kid, Jonathan, as well as Jack, both brought up great points. How basically they just took Kemba, put him in, and they're working their magic right now. They actually have the best record in the East. They look like they haven't lost a step. They look like they actually got better, not just lost a step. They've gotten better, and they really just put Kemba in seamlessly, and I don't honestly know what word I'm looking for, but basically Kemba just came into that lineup and they just blossomed, and it's beautiful to see. Now, everyone's been talking about Luka. I see everybody bringing it up. Dub Weiser was talking about Luka and Trae Young. I saw Talon, Michael, Top Gun, all you guys basically saying how great Luka's been playing, and we talked about that briefly yesterday in yesterday's episode, which was the first episode I tried this out, and we were just talking about how great Luka looks for a 20-year-old. And we can't knock on Trae, because Trae Young's also looking great in his own right. But Luka's just doing things we've never seen. The game just comes so naturally to him. It's just going in slow motion. And usually you don't see that from young guys. You see that from veteran players, guys who've been in the league for a long time. Like LeBron, we've seen that from him. Maybe at an earlier age, but really when he just developed like that IQ when he was in Miami, Luka already has that. Like, he's so smart, and I know people say that when he was in Europe you kind of saw that, but it's just like when you come into the NBA, most Europeans, at least, they either take time or never fully develop, because one, like the athleticism difference and all that, but this kid has everything working for him. He's just so smart. He sees the game in slow motion, and he's been taking advantage of it, and it's a treat to watch for sure. Definitely a great surprise we have for sure. Now, Jonathan and Dub also brought up the fact that the Phoenix Suns are not the last team in the league anymore. They're both what? They're doing pretty well. I think they're 8th right now in the West, which is incredible. Devin Booker has become not just a scorer, but a facilitator, and they don't even have Ayton yet, so I think when they get Ayton back, and then they start figuring each other out. They got a new coach in Monty Williams, I believe, and he's been putting in some work. They've really got not an identity, I wouldn't say, but they look like they're trying to push for something. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. Maybe if Aiden comes back and he looks good, whatever the case is, but the West is really, really stacked. There's teams that haven't figured it out, such as the Blazers, one of those really big surprises. They're really, really awful right now. And that brings us to the fact that they signed Carmelo. I know we talked about it yesterday. Someone said it was a surprise that Melo's in the league. So I just had to bring it up. Melo being in the league is definitely a little bit of a surprise. Actually, it is a surprise. It's been over a year. We didn't think it was going to happen, but I'm glad it is, just because now he has a way to retire on his own terms. So Muddy Hendricks definitely talked about the Blazers being as bad as they are, and we definitely got to address this as being one of those things where hopefully it's just a minor slump and they do figure it out. It's been mostly injuries with Portland, and you could say that about a lot of teams, such as like the Warriors, for example. And honestly, it's just been one of those, like, a lot of players have been injured this year, and it's sad, but it's just one of those things that is part of the game. And we hope a lot of these players do get better, because we saw it where it was just like injury after injury after injury. And we just hope that players can stay healthy. We knock on wood that all these guys get better. Mackie brought up something about Ben Simmons, and I'm just going to quickly say Ben Simmons looked great preseason, right? We saw him hit the three. We thought he developed something, and there is a lack of productivity for sure. But at the end of the day, it's still early. Hopefully he does like figure it out. I feel like he just forgot that the season started, and a lot of players do take it off. No one brought this up, but Kawhi's load management thing, that's kind of been a surprise to me. Like, he's really missed 5 games already, and it's only been 14 games into the season. That's a third of the games that he's missed because of load management. And I'm not knocking on Kawhi, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of players have been doing that. They're showing us that the NBA season doesn't matter at all. Mackie also talked about Luka as everyone else, and then he said something about LeBron. Most people didn't talk about LeBron. I said he was going to have an amazing year this year. He had his longest offseason ever, and honestly, it has been somewhat surprising because this is his revenge tour. This is kind of where he's saying, I'm not washed up. Watch what I could do. He's second in the league in triple doubles. He had his 5th triple double yesterday. Luka is at 6. He's number 1 in the league. But LeBron's 5 has been incredible for sure, because he's 35 years old. 17 years in the league. He's about to be 35. He's still 34. But you also got to realize he made history yesterday, being the only player ever to have a triple double against every NBA team. And it's not to say that any other player would have never done this. You have like the Oscars, the Magics, the Larrys, all those guys, they all could have done it. It's just they all played on like one franchise, so they never have the opportunity. You got a guy like Russell Westbrook who's had triple doubles against everybody except OKC, and now he's not on OKC, so he'll probably get there too. So it's one of those things that other players never had the chance to do, but a lot of players might have had it. So LeBron is just the first person to do it, and I'm sure Russell will be the second. Now there was 2 more things that were brought up, plus one thing I wanted to add. So we'll start with what I wanted to say, and that's Jonathan Isaac. I haven't watched any Magic games this year. I'm not going to say I did, but Jonathan Isaac is second in the league in blocks. We're not counting Ayton, who has like 5 blocks or something, but he only played 1 game. But Anthony Davis is number 1 in blocks, and Jonathan Isaac is number 2, which is incredible, because usually it's just an all big man lineup where you see big man, big man, big man, big man blocks, but you have big man, Jonathan Isaac, big man, big man. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool. It's kind of surprising. Like, the fact that he's up there in blocks, he's averaging almost 3 a game. That's really, really impressive. Now, 2K Messiah brought up something about Malcolm Brogdon, who's been killing it. He's been absolutely killing it in Indiana without Oladipo there. He's been like, I've been watching some of their games, and I'm not going to lie to you, this kid's been shooting like lights out. He has such a big role right now. He was like number 1 and number 2 in assists at one point. He dropped off now. LeBron's number 1. Then you got Luka 2 and like Trey 3rd, which is pretty crazy to think about as well, because you got LeBron and Luka, who we keep talking about the whole episode. But the fact that Malcolm was up there and he's been killing it and he's been really carrying a team is really, really impressive. He also brought up TJ Warren, but I don't really know much about that, so I'm not going to say anything. You guys can discuss that. And the last thing we'll talk about today are the Houston Rockets, who are 11-3. They started off really slow, didn't really know what was going on. But the fact that Harden and Westbrook are kind of figuring it out, not really, but Harden's been on a roll. He's really averaging about 40 points a game, and no one is even close. The fact that this dude's been doing it for so long, and we're not giving him credit, the credit that he really, really deserves. So Jonathan said that the fact that Harden and Westbrook are together and doing this thing is kind of huge. So I think they've been one of those positive surprises that they figured it out. Kind of, they haven't really figured it out, which is really the scary part, that they really don't know what's going on and they're still positive like that. The Lakers have also figured it out really, really quickly with AD and LeBron. And it's kind of cool that all these teams who have made changes like that have really good records. But at the end of the day, the regular season doesn't matter, and it's all about the postseason. So we'll see how players and teams get adjusted, how they figure stuff out as the season progresses. Let me know if you guys want to talk about anything. Let me know if you guys have any questions, sayings. If you guys actually have any videos that you want to submit to me, it could be you talking about something you guys want to be featured in any of these episodes, any of these. Basically, I don't want to call these episodes. I don't really know what this is yet. But if you guys ever want to submit anything, I'll put the link for my email, or I'll just put my email down low. You'll also see it on the screen right here. You can always submit anything you guys want. I will see you guys later. It's been your boy Mos. Thank you guys for stopping by. I appreciate you sitting with me. Go enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see y'all later. Ballin'.